Welcome to the Leadership in the Longevity Economy event. My name is Rhonda Luttrell, and I'm the founder and CEO of Age Friendly Business. We're so pleased to have you join us to hear our outstanding lineup of experts and topic areas, and especially to join us in celebrating our international launch. You know, we can't talk about leadership in this arena without going to the International Federation on Aging. So we contacted Dr. Jane Barrett, the Secretary General, and Greg Shaw, the Director of Corporate and International Relations, and invited them to offer our opening remarks. And on behalf of Dr. Barrett and the entire team of the IFA, Greg is going to be sharing with you an important message. So welcome, Greg.
Hello from Toronto, Canada. I'm Greg Shaw, the Director of International and Corporate Relations with the International Federation on Aging. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to this virtual conference, providing leadership in the longevity economy. With increased lifespans, older people are living years longer. That's very good news for the global economy. Youth may be poised to inherit the future, but today's aging population is defining it. In 2018, for the first time in history, those aged 65 and older outnumbered children younger than 5 globally. And the number of people aged 80 and older is projected to triple from 143 million in 2019 to 426 million in 2050. The population aged 65 and older is growing faster than all other age groups, especially as the global birth rate has been plummeting since the second half of the 20th century. According to WHO, fertility rates in every region except Africa are near or below what is considered to be the replacement rate. In most high-income countries, this hovers around 2.1 children per woman. The population isn't just aging. People are living longer and increasing their health span for prolonged health as well. That means as the older population of older people increases, so grows a group of consumers, workers, and innovators. In other words, they're not simply a group that needs services from the silver economy, which is aimed solely at older people, but rather an aging population that can continue to be full service participants of the economy at large. We are now talking about a new stage of life, which is as long as the latter part of adult life. However, we're still fighting some negative stereotypes, some myths about older people. Today, we are reframing the discussion about aging towards the economic and social possibilities created by increased longevity. This virtual conference, whether it's through the lens of personal development, your business, or your community, is a fabulous initiative of Ms. Rhonda Luttrell, founder and CEO of Age Friendly Businesses, to explore the economic possibilities as we move beyond the COVID-19 global pandemic. Good luck with your deliberations and discussions today. All the best.
Thank you, Greg. The numbers are compelling and the opportunity is real. We cherish our both personal and professional relationship with the IFA, and I encourage all of our members to join the IFA and support their vision and their stellar work. Now, we're going to be introducing you to this $15 trillion longevity economy. And I suggest that if you don't know what it is, you're probably not participating in it. But we're going to change all that. You know, you've probably heard the joke before. The good news is we're living longer. The bad news is we're living longer. As a matter of fact, we've gained a 30-year increase in our life expectancy in the last century. I mean, just think about that. 30-year increase in our life expectancy in the last 100 years. It's never happened before in our history of humankind, and we're just learning what this means for us and the implications it has for our quality of aging, our business, and our community life. So let's look at the age 50 plus. What do we know? Well, we know that boomers and seniors represent almost half of our population. They hold between 77 and 80% of all the assets, and they're responsible for more than 50% of all discretionary spending. Pretty powerful market. But yet here's where the big disconnect is. Do you know that 40% of boomers report that they feel ignored by the business community wanting to serve them? And in a recent ad hoc survey in a retirement city here in Canada, they interviewed a number of seniors, and the seniors said that not only did they feel ignored, they felt downright invisible. Now think about that for a moment. You're a powerful market, you have all the money, you're responsible for the majority of the spending, and yet you're feeling ignored and invisible. But to the savvy business owners and professionals, they see this as a tremendous opportunity. We often say that you have to earn the right to ask for their business. Do you know what boomers and seniors want? Do you know what keeps them up at night? What their emerging needs and fears are? You know, I was speaking at a money show, and afterwards some boomers came up to me and spoke with me backstage, and they were saying, you know, the businesses that were wanting to work with boomers and seniors knew about their products and services, but they said, you know what? They don't know about me. And think about that a moment. We expect you to know about your industry and to have expertise in your area of service offering. And that's just to get on the playing field. We expect you to know that. But if you want to really excel, you now have to know about your client. I mean, isn't that the fundamental rule in marketing and service? You have to know your clients. And that's what they're telling you right now. And they're voting with their pocketbook. As a matter of fact, the boomers that came up to me after that money show were telling me that they went from one bank to another bank because of that particular issue. You know about your products and services, but you don't know about me. And that's what we're trying to change. We created what we call our Age-Friendly Business Foundation course. And the intention of this foundation course is to introduce you to some of the more universal age-related changes that your clients and customers are likely to experience. How easy is it for them to be able to access your environment, to engage with your products and services, and to have a respectable conversation and engagement with your staff and your team? Are you able to respond to all of that? In our foundation course, we give you tips and recommendations that are industry specific, that can help you elevate the quality of your service. And you know what? It isn't just about the age 50 plus. The feedback that we get is when you elevate the quality of your service with boomers and seniors, well, guess what? The quality of your service is elevated with everyone from age 8 to 88. You know, one of my colleagues says, we're sorry about that, but that's just one of the outcomes of working with us. Everybody wins. So you're probably wondering about why a leadership conference and why now? Gosh, we've been going through a rough time, haven't we? When you think about your boomer and senior clients, think about what they've experienced. They've experienced great leadership throughout their whole lifetime. You know, some of your clients will have experienced the Great Depression, recessions, world wars, and dramatic social movements. Not only have they experienced good leadership during those times, a good whack of them will have provided the leadership and the direction in their communities. But boy, we've never experienced anything like we have in the last while, have we? Never before have your clients been afraid to touch a doorknob or hug a loved one. Times have changed, and more than ever, your clients and your customers are looking for you to provide the kind of leadership that will help them guide their way through this crazy time right now and help them redefine the new normal. And I'm going to ask you this, if it's not you, then who will it be? That's why we wanted to do everything we could to bring to you a series of experts to help you gain even more skills in your leadership effort, in your own personal development, your professional development, success in your business, and ultimately significance in your community. You know, you may be wondering as well, why age-friendly business? Where did that come from? Well, we were inspired from the Age-Friendly City and Age-Friendly Rural Communities initiative that's been endorsed by the World Health Organization. I mean, it's just tremendous, recognizing the importance of all people, especially as we transition in later years, to be able to access all of our community, all of our resources, and all of our commercial operations. So the Age-Friendly Cities initiative is really about inclusion, access, and participation. And that's wonderful and that's noble. But I want to ask you this. What happens if you're getting to the door and going through the door? What then about the quality of the engagement once you're there? And that's a little piece of the puzzle we decided to take on. Yes, access is important, engagement is important, but what happens when you get through the door? What's the quality of that interaction? And let's see if we can make a difference of what that can be for everyone in your community, especially the boomers and the seniors. So we all have a role to play. Businesses, academia, government organizations, non-government organizations, we all have a role to play in defining what kind of communities we want to live in and that we want to age in, that we want to age into. You know, often I'll hear people say, why business though? Isn't that just the domain of NGOs and societies? Not at all. I mean, just think about it a moment. Isn't it true that you likely have more frequent contact with some of your commercial and business communities? You probably have more frequent contact with your grocer, with your bank teller, with your server, with your hairdresser than you likely do with some of your inner circle of family and friends. I know I do. I'm out and about in my commercial environment, in my community, often more frequently than I'm able to spend time with my loved ones who may or may not even live in my community. So doesn't it just make sense that our business community is welcomed into this movement and given the skills and the tools to participate as willing and cherished and important members of our community? Certainly with the businesses and professionals I work with, they're eager to assume their role in making their community a better place for all of us to live in and feel welcomed in. There's a role for all. It's not the private domain of just social services. And we are so excited to have a role and be part of the initiative that makes this happen, to make sure that the business community is given the skills and the abilities to take their rightful role in this particular movement and be welcomed with open arms. You know, it doesn't have to be a grand or dramatic gesture. I think it was Van Gogh who said, great things happen when a number of small things come together. So let's make a commitment of a number of small things to make a difference in our communities, and together we can make great things happen. And that's what this conference is about.